Hello again, this is Eric Green from Convisor & Percy in Glastonbury, Connecticut. Now in this segment, what we're going to talk about is the Connecticut Department of Revenue Services sales tax audit, preparing for the audit. We know you've been picked for audit now. You give us a call. What are we going to do? How are we going to prepare to handle the audit? Well, first thing you should do is, like as I mentioned about calling us, tax expertise. You want to get somebody, a tax professional, who deals with this all the time to handle this. Sometimes there are some instances where taxpayers can kind of self-help and handle it themselves. Generally speaking, an audit, when you're dealing with an aggressive sales tax auditor, is not the time to do that. All right, you're going to want to get a tax professional. The tax professional will create a shield between you and the auditor. All right, one, it'll save you a lot of headache, but two, it's much better if we can challenge the auditor's findings early rather than waiting till the audit's all done and then trying to salvage it, later on down the road. All right. Basically, the gist of it: the earlier we get in, the better result you get. So what are you going to do? You're going to prepare your records, right? You're going to pull your register tapes. You're going to pull your bank statements. If there are blanks, go to the third party. Go to your vendors. Get information to fill in those blanks. All right? And as I mentioned with the bank statements, have the bank documentation ready because they're going to ask for it. Another thing, have your federal tax returns available. Pull all that information together. Right? If not, your professional is going to ask for it. All right? If they're doing their job, they're going to ask for all that before the audit even begins. Why? The professional wants to know what they're dealing with. If you show up and right off the bat, I know that your federal returns don't match your sales tax returns and they don't match your bank statements, I already know we have a problem. It's easier for me to deal with it if I know we have the problem from the get-go than waiting to be sitting there with the auditor and have the auditor tell me we have a problem. Right? Once the auditor has done their work, review the test period that they've chosen versus the other periods. Every now and then, they might happen to pick a period where something sort of got screwed up and they come up with an error rate that really isn't a true error rate. So very often what you do is you look at other test periods and perform the test on those periods and see if you come up with a lower error percentage and use that to challenge the audit findings. All right, review how the auditor arrived at their markup. We've had instances where auditors have pulled invoices from 3 years ago and compared it to the current price in the store. Well, obviously they're going to come up with a much higher markup because they're using an old purchase price and the current sales price. So obviously the margin is going to be higher because generally speaking things go up in price. What you bought to sell 3 years ago is probably less than what you're paying today. Right? So you need to pay attention to that. Review the third-party purchases against your invoices. Not often, but every now and then, the auditor got bad information from the vendor. I've had one where they were $200,000 off. We went back to the vendor and they said, yeah, we made a mistake and we got it corrected. Okay? Or sometimes the auditor got correct information, but they transposed a number, or somehow or another it got screwed up when it got put into the audit work papers. All right, so you're going to want to review all that and challenge the assumptions that the auditor has made. And again, if you want help with the Connecticut DRS sales tax audit here in Connecticut, feel free to contact us. Our information is right there. Thank you.